Sulfur dioxide is a colorless gas or liquid with a strong choking odor. It is produced from the burning of fossil fuels such as coal and oil and the smelting of mineral ores that contain sulfur. As an example, it could be aluminum, copper, or zinc. Sulfur dioxide dissolves easily in water to form sulfuric acid, which is a major component of acid rain. Most of the sulfur dioxide released into the environment comes from electric utilities, especially those that burn coal. Some other sources of sulfur dioxide include petroleum refineries, cement manufacturing, paper pulp manufacturing, and metal smelting and processing facilities. Locomotives or large ships also release sulfur dioxide into the air. And in nature, volcanic eruptions can also release sulfur dioxide into the air. Now we are going to talk about nitrogen oxides, also known as NOx. In industrial boilers, NOx is primarily formed in two ways: thermal NOx and fuel NOx. Thermal NOx is formed when nitrogen and oxygen in the combustion air combine with one another at the high temperatures in a flame. And fuel NOx is formed by the reaction of nitrogen bound in the fuel with oxygen in the combustion air. Principal nitrogen pollutants generated by boilers are nitric oxide, NO, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2, collectively referred to as NOx. A significant portion of the NOx from stationary sources can be attributed to residential, commercial, and industrial sources, including industrial boilers.
The SO2 effects on the environment are that when it gets together with water and air, it forms sulfuric acid. And sulfuric acid is the main component of acid rain. Well, acid rain can corrode building materials and paintings. It can also cause deforestation and acidify waterways to like the ocean and kind of mess up with aquatic life, which is bad. Then nitrogen oxide, when humans are exposed to high levels of it, it can affect the respiratory tract and increase the person's vulnerability to respiratory diseases and asthma. Long-term exposure to it can cause lung diseases and kind of mess up with the senses. Like the senses, like it can kind of mess up with that. And it's pretty bad.
Air quality significantly affects the lives of people. Living in a pollution-free environment signifies a better life and a better quality of life. Air pollution cases around the world cause 7 million people to die every year worldwide. Growth and concentration of the population in cities, as well as the way in which we consume energy, in urban areas for transport or heating and air conditioning systems, among others, result in the emission of huge quantities of gases like nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides that are harmful to our health. Our physical and psychological well-being is affected differently by the kind of air pollution we are exposed to. There are multiple organs and bodily functions that can be harmed. The consequences including respiratory diseases, cardiovascular damage, fatigue, headaches, anxiety, irritation of the eyes, nose and throat problems, damage to the reproductive organs, harm to the liver, spleen, and blood, and nervous system damage, and many more.
How to prevent sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide gases in our atmosphere. Unlike sulfur, it's not possible to reduce the nitrogen content of the fuel by physical cleaning, as it's combined with the organic matter of the fuel. And at present there are no available methods to reduce organic nitrogen. Fuel switching is also not effective, as this will only reduce the fuel nitrogen oxide contribution and not the thermal nitrogen oxide. However, during combustion, further air can be added to the combustion chamber to ensure complete combustion of the fuel. This can greatly reduce the opportunities for nitrogen oxide production. Emissions of nitrogen oxide generated after the combustion process can be reduced, as with sulfur dioxide, by treating the flue gases.